Today I'm going to be talking about notes 3.2, the slope of a line. Which is on page 148 of your textbook. So slope is very important, and you've probably heard that term before. The slope of a roof, the slope of or grade of a highway, the ski slopes. Those are all talking about the incline or decline of something. The formal definition of slope is the change in the vertical direction over the change in the horizontal direction. We use the letter M to denote slope. So that's the change in Y. The vertical direction is the y-axis over the change in X. In shorthand, we can denote change with a delta symbol, the change in Y over the change of X. And if we're talking about two different points on a line, we're going to use the difference in the Y values, Y2 minus Y1, over X2 minus X1, which is going to be our formal equation for slope. You've also probably heard of slope as rise over run. Rise is our change in the Y direction, and run is our change in the X direction. Rise over run. So just a few quick notes about slope before we even get started doing calculations. If we have an increasing slope, it means we have a line that goes up as we go from the left side of the line to the right side of the line. So we're heading in the up direction. That's an increasing slope. If you think of a little person here that's going to walk up this line, this person is walking in an increasing, going up the mountain or up the slope. Okay. We can have a slight increase, a line that just increases barely as well. And that's still an increasing slope because it's still walking up the slope. But it's a less of an increase than the first line I drew. The first line I drew is going to have a slope of a bigger number, like 2 or 3. And one that's a little bit flatter is going to have a smaller slope, like 1/2, or something like that. Slopes can also come in the decreasing fashion. So if I'm to draw a line here, as I go from left side of the graph to the right side of the graph, this line is going down. If I put a little person on top to walk on it, this person is walking down the line, down the slope. Okay. And same idea, I can have one that goes dramatically down or one that just kind of creeps down. Okay, we're still decreasing as we go from left to right. But the first line I drew is going to have a larger slope, like -2 or -3. The negative accounts for the fact that the line is going downwards. And the second line I drew, the flatter line, will have something like -1/3, or a smaller slope. All right, I also want to talk about the slope of a horizontal and a vertical line. Remember vertical lines? We talked about those in class. Go straight up and straight down. And they have the graph x equals, in this case, I'm over at -3. It doesn't matter what the value of y is. X is always going to be -3. Y will change, and every y is included in this line. So if I think about this, first off, we don't go from left to right, so we can't say it's increasing, we can't say it's decreasing. And if I'm to put a little person to walk up this wall, well, he's going to have to be really good at rock climbing to scale a completely vertical wall, or he's going to have some sort of footholds and handholds to hold on to. So this type of line has a slope that is undefined. Okay. What happens when you do your equation, the change in y over the change in x, is all our x values are the same. So we end up getting a number on top for y, but on the bottom, our difference in our x's, -3 minus -3, ends up being 0. So a fraction with a 0 at the bottom is not allowed, thus our slope is undefined. You can remember this because this little guy can't walk on this line. Undefined slope means we can't walk on the line. Our second case here is our horizontal line. Remember that one had an equation like y equals 2, which is the one I just graphed right now. And this line, if you think about it, I can put a little guy here to walk across the line, and he's not walking up or down. He's not increasing or decreasing. He's just walking on a flat surface, a flat slope. So what's happening here is our change in y this time is constant. 2 minus 2 will be on the top, so we'll end up with a 0 on the top and some number on the bottom. Doesn't matter what. So we'll end up with a slope of 0. Okay. So we're not going up, we're not going down. We have a slope of 0, a flat line that we're walking on.